And finally, new rule, an election is meant to eliminate candidates, not voters. Last week in Georgia, early voting in the wealthier white neighborhoods in Atlanta took just 15 minutes, barely enough time for the poodle in the car to get hot. But voters in some black areas stood in line for up to 8 hours. In Texas, the governor decreed that there be only one ballot drop box per county, which is fine for Loving County, population 169. But Harris County, which includes the city of Houston and has 2.4 million eligible voters spread across an area larger than Rhode Island, also got one box. In some states, you have to put your mail-in ballot inside an envelope and then put that envelope into a second envelope and then sign the envelope. It's like you're doing a magic trick. For people who say both parties are basically the same, voter suppression is the stark example that that's not true. This is 100% a Republican thing. Yes. They know their policies aren't as popular, so they came up with an effective, time-tested political tactic called cheating. I can't make you want to vote for me, but maybe I can keep you from voting for the other guy. That's their credo. May the best man lose anyway. The other night, I was watching one of those obstacle course shows, you know, the ones where a contestant has to get across a terrain of giant bouncy balls and slippery balance beams and swing on friggin' ropes like Tarzan. And it occurred to me while watching this, watching Ricardo lose his grip on a foam roller, that this is exactly what our voting system has turned into. It's American Ninja Warrior Democracy Edition. Try to move forward without getting knocked off the voter rolls. Match your wits and physical prowess in our most challenging steeplechases like the Eliminator, where you show up to vote only to find your polling place has been closed. Splish splash, you're taking a bath. Or then there's the Excruciator, where you finally find your polling place, but the line is hours long because they've shut down all the other polling places and your precinct has been given the old broken voting machines. Kerplunk. The MIS-IDENTIFIER, where you finally get to the front of that line that you've been waiting in for hours, and they tell you that you have the wrong ID. Hope you can swim. The MONKEYWRENCH, where you say, okay, fine, I'll mail in my ballot, only to find they removed the only mailbox in the neighborhood. Oh, no. And finally, brand new this year, try to stay dry when going up against the OBSTRUCTOR, where you say, fuck it, I'll just drop off my mail-in ballot at a designated drop-off box, only to find there's only one for 2.4 million people. Wah, wah. It's amazing how brazen Republicans have become in owning voter suppression. Back in March, when Democrats were pushing for vote-by-mail, same-day registration and early voting, Trump, because he's a poker player who always tells you his hand, said this would result in, quote, levels of voting that if you'd ever agreed to it, you'd never have a Republican elected in this country again. Well, not quite, but yes, more people vote for Democrats. A process known as counting. David Lewis is a state rep from North Carolina. He was tasked with redistricting, and he gave one of the most honest rationales for partisan gerrymandering you'll ever hear. He said, I think electing Republicans is better than electing Democrats, so I drew this map in a way to help. Huh. Well, it must have been such a relief for a cheater like that to stop pretending that there was a good reason for their cheating and just say it. Like when Mom finally admits that the Hitachi magic wand isn't for her back. Well, here's my message to the cheaters. I've always preached on this show that you can hate Trump, you can't hate his supporters. I meant it then, and I mean it now. But that goes out the window if you steal from me. My vote is a thing of value. You steal it, I do hate you. Because that's not we see the world differently, our politics are different. You're a crook, a thief, and a schmuck. Elections are supposed to be free and fair, not wet and wild. And if you wait 8 hours to vote, when you get out of the booth, you deserve to do this.